Nearly died due to a bout of pneumonia. I began by asking him, was this really nearly the case?
It was really nearly the case. I was thinking about getting a T-shirt that just said, "I nearly died," you know. But no, it was really the case. I'm in a way not really ready to talk about it, even though I have to talk about it to some degree because that's what the single is about, really. I kind of, I'm going to try not to drone on about how awful everything was, and just concentrate on the celebration of the fact that it didn't kill me.
What was it? What happened exactly?
Well, the really sad thing about it is it didn't need to get that close. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but when I came to London last year for the Albert Hall shows, I cancelled a night, and due to what I thought was, the kind of bug that was going around the tour, and I did one performance in real pain. I had back pain, I had head pain, I couldn't understand what was going on, and it didn't really occur to me it was anything to do with my lungs. My temperature shot up and my heart rate shot up, but all of those things stopped after about a day. And I was told, go and get yourself properly checked out, just because, your age and what you're doing and everything. And I knew I was a bit run down because it was a very, very heavy schedule. It was 5 nights a week I was playing. And it's not the same at 48 as it is when you're 24. It's just not the same. I felt fine, and I cancelled that show, but didn't go and get myself properly checked out, which I should have done. I just took it for granted that I just fought off flu or something. So I didn't get it checked out, and I went and played for another 3 weeks around Europe. And then one afternoon, I was having lunch. I had a show planned for that evening, having lunch, and suddenly felt really odd, and just said to everyone, "I'm really sorry, I just need to go and lay down for half an hour on my own before we go off on the next thing." And that's the last thing I remember for the next 5 weeks.
No way.
Yeah. It was 3 weeks of them trying to save my life, and then 2 weeks awake, in which I had to learn to walk again, and weird stuff, because when they keep you sedated for that long, your muscles literally atrophy at an incredible rate. And I just woke up like this kind of feeble old man, and I suppose all I really can say about it is it was a horrible experience, and I won't go into all the nasty details of how they get rid of pneumonia, but it's pretty gruesome, and it's a horrible experience. I feel blessed that I wasn't one of the people watching it rather than going through it,
It was strange because it happened in Vienna, I suppose. After all the stories that the press have sensationalised about you in the past, some minute, some non-existent.
Yes, of course.
This one was actually downplayed almost unintentionally, but we had no idea it was as serious as it was.
Yeah, well, it was downplayed because I didn't want to worry all my, I didn't know what was going on, but my publicists and my managers and people in general decided to play it down because I think didn't want press clamouring around the hospital, and it was they were anyway, but if they'd known how bad things were, it would have been, death watch kind of thing, So we didn't want that to happen. So no, it wasn't until I came out and told people that they had any clue. But it was 3 weeks, touch and go.
How close were you?
On several occasions, very close. Very close indeed. So, I mean, and I think maybe the reason I find it still a little bit upsetting to talk about is because it was so random. When something as random as that happens, you catch a bug that's like what they call communal streptococcus or something like that. But when something like that happens in such a random fashion, I think it takes a while to feel that life is safe again, really.
You probably never will.
I've lived with a lot of anxiety since, and thank God for my work, because it's, I was told to really lay off work this year, but I just couldn't do it. I don't know what to do with myself, and I was particularly anxious. So I needed to throw myself into music, and thank God that I did. Thank God that I did. You know what I mean?